This happened this past spring break, so we're talking only a few weeks though. You're standing in a line, surrounded by strangers, waiting for something you don't fully understand. A calm voice plays overhead, repeating the same reassuring words, telling you that everything is fine, that you're safe, that nothing here is real. For a moment, you almost believe it. Then everything changes. Without warning, the atmosphere snaps. The calm dissolves into chaos. Figures in masks rush forward, grabbing people at random, pulling them out of line before anyone can react. No instructions, no time to prepare. 1 second you're watching. The next, it could be you. This wasn't just another haunted attraction. This was Dead of Night, once considered one of the most extreme experiences in New York. And from the very beginning, it made one thing clear. You weren't a guest. You were part of the experience. Some people were dragged in. Others were carried off without a word. And once inside, the line between performance and reality began to blur. What followed wasn't just about fear. It was about pushing limits, testing reactions, and making you question how far is too far. Dead of Night is gone now. Closed years ago. But even today, people still talk about it. And some are still waiting for the day it comes back. If you thought Dead of Night was already pushing the limits, then miasma takes that idea and strips away every last sense of control. Somewhere in Chicago, there's an experience you won't find advertised. No bright signs, no ticket booth, just a message, sent only to those selected. The instructions are simple. Arrive alone. Tell no one. Don't be late. And that's it. No explanation of what's waiting for you. When you show up, things move fast. Your vision is taken away. Your movement restricted. You're guided, sometimes pushed into something you don't fully understand. Time starts to feel distorted. Voices echo around you. You can't tell who's near or what's about to happen next. Some who've gone through it say the real fear doesn't come from what you see, but from what you can't. Tight spaces, disorientation, pressure building with every second. At some point, your mind stops treating it like a performance, and that's when panic sets in. One participant admitted they forgot it was staged at all, that for a moment, it felt completely real. And maybe the most unsettling part, you don't even know where you are until the last possible moment. And by then, there's no turning back. So let me ask you, would you actually go through something like this? Would you actually go through something like this? Let me know in the comments, because what comes next only gets worse. But if miasma traps you inside your own mind, then what waits beneath an old building in Pittsburgh takes things even further. Hidden below a seemingly ordinary attraction lies something far more intense, a place known simply as the basement. It doesn't rely on surprise. It relies on immersion. From the moment you step inside, you're no longer just observing a story. You're inside it. The actors don't follow a script. They react to you, speak to you, step into your space, and they don't let you stay comfortable for long. Every room feels more personal than the last. Every interaction more unpredictable. You're stopped, questioned, tested, and just when you think you understand what's happening, the environment shifts again. The walls feel closer, the air heavier. The tension builds slowly, then all at once, you begin to realize something unsettling. There's no clean path through this, no easy way out, only forward. And while there is a way to end it early, most people wait too long to use it, because by the time you admit it's too much, you're already deep inside. If you think fear has a limit, then you haven't heard of the cults. This wasn't designed for casual thrill seekers. This was built for people who wanted to be pushed, to find out exactly where their breaking point was. Before you even begin, you're stopped and questioned. Not about tickets, not about rules, but about your fears. Darkness, tight spaces, deep water, creatures, needles. One by one, they list them out. And with every question, you start to realize something unsettling. They're not asking for fun. They're taking notes. Then you're sent in, alone. No groups, no distractions, no one to look back at, just a path. And whatever is waiting ahead. At first, it feels controlled, structured, but that illusion doesn't last. The environment shifts. Voices get louder, closer, more aggressive. You're pushed forward, guided into places you wouldn't normally go. Confined areas, unpredictable encounters, situations that feel too real. At any moment, you can stop. There's a signal, a way out. But here's the problem. Most people don't use it until it's too late, because every step forward feels like you should be able to handle just a little more. And then suddenly, you can. Those who went through it describe something deeper than fear, a loss of control, a moment where your mind stops treating it as an experience and starts reacting like it's real. The cult didn't last forever, but for those who remember it, it left something behind, something that doesn't go away easily. But if you thought that was already the edge, what comes next strips everything away. Blackout. If the cult plays with your fears, blackout removes everything else. No clear path, no sense of direction, no comfort. From the very beginning, you're disoriented, cut off from anything familiar. You're moved through spaces you can't fully see, guided by voices you don't trust. The darkness isn't just around you. It feels like it's closing in. Every sound becomes sharper. Every movement feels closer than it should be. You don't know who's nearby. You don't know what's coming next. And that uncertainty, that constant, lingering question, is what gets to you. Blackout didn't rely on traditional scares. It relied on pressure, on confusion, on the feeling of being completely exposed in an environment you can't control. At times, it pushed boundaries that made people question whether they should even be there. And yet, they kept going. Because once you're inside, you don't just walk away. You endure it. Or at least, you try to. Blackout may not be around like it used to be, but the stories it left behind, they all say the same thing. This wasn't just about fear. It was about how far someone is willing to go before they finally say enough. And just when you think you've seen the worst of it, it goes even further. Las Vegas has something that takes it even further. Not a haunted house, not an attraction, but something they call the victim experience. And that name isn't just for effect, because the moment you step inside, you stop being a participant. You become the target. There's no group to hide behind, no one to share the moment with. You go in alone, and almost immediately, things feel wrong. People vanish ahead of you. Movements happen too fast to process. 1 second, someone is standing next to you. The next, they're gone. Pulled away into the dark before you can react. Then it's just you. Silence. Waiting until something finds you. What happens next isn't predictable. You're moved, restrained, disoriented. Your senses are overwhelmed, and your body starts reacting before your mind can catch up. Moments stretch longer than they should. Every second feels heavier, and the deeper you go, the harder it becomes to remind yourself. This is supposed to be an experience, because it doesn't feel like one anymore. Freakling Brothers didn't just create a haunted house. They created a scenario, one where you're placed into situations that feel uncomfortably real, and it all takes place inside something called Gates of Hell, a name that suddenly doesn't feel exaggerated, because once you're inside, you understand exactly why they chose it. But for some places, even that wasn't far enough, because there was one that didn't just push limits, it ignored them completely. Raven's Nest, a place so intense, the town itself decided it had gone too far. Here, the line between acting and reality was almost invisible. The people inside weren't just performers. They were chosen for how convincing they could be, how intimidating, how physically overwhelming. From the moment you entered, you were controlled, moved, directed, forced into situations that felt degrading, uncomfortable, and impossible to ignore. The environment closed in around you. Tight spaces, narrow paths, no room to breathe. Every step forward felt more suffocating than the last. And unlike other places, there was no clear escape. No word to end it. No easy way out. You had to endure it, or find your own way through. Eventually, Raven's Nest was shut down, but not before it earned a reputation that still lingers, as one of the few places where people didn't just feel fear, they felt completely trapped inside it. And then, there's the one name almost everyone has heard, McCamey Manor, but calling it a haunted house doesn't really feel accurate, because this isn't about jump scares. It isn't about actors hiding in the dark. It's something else entirely. Something that blurs the line between fear and endurance. From the very beginning, you're pushed into situations that feel overwhelming. Physically, mentally, emotionally. You're disoriented, controlled, placed into environments designed to trigger every instinct telling you to stop. Tight spaces that seem to close in around you. Moments where you lose track of time. Situations that escalate far beyond what most people expect. And the longer it goes on, the harder it becomes to separate what's part of the experience and what feels all too real, because this doesn't last a few minutes. It can go on for hours. In some cases, nearly an entire day, and that alone changes everything. Fatigue sets in. Your thoughts slow down. Your reactions become instinctive instead of rational. That's when people start to break. What makes it even more unsettling is this. For a long time, there was no clear way to stop once it began. Even now, many question whether stopping is ever truly immediate. And that uncertainty, that lack of control, is what makes it different from anything else. There's also the promise, a reward waiting at the end for anyone who can endure it all. But here's the catch. No one ever has. Some believe it's because no one is strong enough. Others believe it was never meant to be completed in the first place. And that idea alone raises a much darker question. Is this really an attraction? Or something designed to push people further than they ever intended to go? Despite the controversy, the warnings, the stories, people still sign up. Thousands of them. Waiting. Curious. Willing to find out for themselves just how far is too far. Because McCamey Manor doesn't just test your fear. It tests your limits. And once you step inside, you may not like what you discover about them. If you enjoy deep dives into the most extreme and unsettling experiences out there, make sure to subscribe and stay with me, because there are stories even darker than this. If you've ever experienced something strange, something you still can't explain, I'd love to hear it. Feel free to share your story through the link in the description. Who knows? Your experience might be featured in a future video, because sometimes the scariest stories aren't the ones we tell, they're the ones that actually happened.